Hello, and welcome to StopFake News. I'm Christina Jarymowycz, a Fulbright student and PhD candidate at Boston University. I'm pleased to be this week's guest anchor for StopFake News. Before we begin, we would like to call attention to the fact that Saturday, November 28th, was commemorated internationally as Holodomor Memorial Day, a day recognizing the genocide of millions of Ukrainians in 1932 and 1933. Their deaths were mainly by starvation, carefully orchestrated by the Soviet authorities. StopFake joins in this sad commemoration. Ukrainian and Russian media recently posted a false report that a bulldozer had destroyed the graves of 33 Ukrainian soldiers who died during anti-terrorist operations, or the ATO, in the town of Sumy. Local authorities were blamed. The website Spetscore first posted the fake report on November 14th, and the news then spread among Russian and separatist websites. Spetscore claimed that Tatiana Andra, the mother of an artilleryman buried in the cemetery, had witnessed the destruction of the graves. But commenting to StopFake, Andra denied that she had said anything like this. "When I approached the cemetery, I saw a small tractor stuck in the mud," she told StopFake. Workers were removing the ground from the graves manually and loading it onto wheelbarrows. The tractor was not riding over the graves. This is a lie. I don't know why it was ascribed to me. This was also claimed by Vadim Dobodyelov, a volunteer with the non-governmental Sumy Foundation, who has been coordinating the construction of a memorial for the fallen ATO fighters. There was no vandalism, he says. The ground for the grave hills was indeed removed manually. A small tractor was used in the part of the cemetery where there are no graves. The Spetscore article also contained other pieces of false information. For example, that crosses had been torn off the graves and that local authorities imposed their own design for memorials over the wishes of the families of the dead soldiers. Similarly, these claims have been discredited by families and volunteers. Russian media and the former Internal Affairs Minister of Ukraine, Vitaly Zakharchenko, have resurrected a false story about Ukrainian soldiers being sent to Syria. The former Ukrainian official wrote the following in a column for the Eurasia Daily website. As it's been recently revealed in documents which I received through unofficial channels on October 13, 2015, the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, headed by Alexander Turchinov, decided to send Ukrainian volunteer battalions to Syria to fight along with the armed Syrian opposition. He also posted this information on Facebook. The news was then reposted by other media. StopFake debunked a similar claim on October 26th. In this most recent assertion, Zakharchenko references the same falsified document from October. Meanwhile, he offers no new information or supporting documents. On November 22nd, Ukraina.ru falsely reported that Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko had decided to completely block Crimea by putting a stop to all trade and cargo to the peninsula. The site claimed that the president had taken this decision on November 21st in Kyiv after meeting with the leaders of the Crimean Tatars, Mustafa Dzhemilev and Refat Chubarov. However, there is no supporting information provided for this claim on the site. Furthermore, as of November 22nd, no corresponding information had been posted to the Ukrainian government website. What we do know is that on November 21st, a confrontation broke out between Ukrainian law enforcement officials and supporters of the Crimean blockade at the site of the cut power lines in the Kherson region. As a result, activists gathered the same day for a rally at the presidential administration in Kyiv, while the leaders of the Crimean Tatars met with Poroshenko to demand a total blockade, an appeal made by Mustafa Dzhemilev in February of this year. On November 23rd, Ukraine's Cabinet of Ministers held an emergency meeting to establish a temporary ban on the transfer of cargo between mainland Ukraine and Crimea. Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk charged the Cabinet and the Ministry of Economic Development with providing a list of potential prohibited goods and services. Also, on November 23rd, the president's website posted a letter that Poroshenko had submitted to the Cabinet of Ministers. In it, he requested a more elaborate outline of the cargo to be prohibited from being transported to the Crimea. Various websites and social networks have falsely reported that former U.S. Secretary of Treasury Paul Henry ONeill had recently spoken out against the coup d'etat in Ukraine. They reported that he addressed Ukrainians and provided an exhaustive analysis of all the reasons and purposes of the coup d'etat in Ukraine and dispelled the myth of democratization and the revolution of dignity. In the article, Ukraine is referred to as the outskirts of Russia. ONeill, who is supposedly the author of the article, was Treasury Secretary for 2 years under George W. Bush. Several websites provided a German article as the source, but the author was actually a certain Henry Paul, who posted on the German website of Contra magazine, a publication renowned for fake news. It was not Secretary ONeill. The article has already been removed from the website, but has remained in the web archive. This has been just some of the most recent information from StopFake. To keep up to date with exposed fakes regarding Ukraine, please visit StopFake's website, and also let StopFake know about any reports you think need to be checked out or verified. I'm Christina Jarymowycz, and I'm pleased to have presented you with some of this week's news and exposed fakes.